أهلا بكم and welcome to the magical hour. فيولا حنا ومعايا
Shireen Faltis.
and
Welcome to the magical hour.
Yes, I know it's silly, but you know, it's fun to be silly sometimes. أهلا بكم. Welcome to the magical hour. النهارده مبسوطين خالص خالص اللي انتم معانا. عندنا شو يجنن النهارده. We have a very special guest. هقول لكم عليها بعدين، but عاوزاكم تعرفوا اللي عندنا very very special guest. كانت المفروض تبقى معانا الأسبوع اللي فات, but for reasons she couldn't make it, so we have her today. فعاوزين النهارده عندنا حاجات كتيرة قوي عاوزين نتكلم عليها. Shireen and I have been working with our hearts to put this show together for you and make it as as effective and as positive as possible. فاحنا بنحاول طبعا زي ما انتم عارفين بنحاول نتكلم انجليزي شويه ونتكلم عربي شويه لان عاوزين نضم الاثنين مع بعض. نحب مثلا المصريين لما يسمعوا كلمه انجلش ومش عارفينها ايه هي يكتبوها, وممكن يا اما يتصلوا بينا ويسالونا يا اما يسالوا حد او يروحوا للقاموس to find the meaning. That's why we would like to do the show bilingual in both languages. So Shireen, I keep talking and talking and I never give you a chance to talk. You poor thing. How do you put up with me?
It's tough. It's tough.
So why don't we talk about the project?
Okay.
Let me bring him up to speed first.
Yes.
So الأسبوع اللي فات قلنا اللي احنا شغالين مع واحد مش هنقول اسمه ولا هنقول هو مين, بس بني آدم نعرفه بقاله 6 سنين هنا في أمريكا, و actually he contacted us وسألنا to help him, to guide him to reach his goals. You may say, why did he come and ask us to what reason can or how can we help him? We're not doctors, we're not we're not PhDs in anything, and how could we help this guy be successful? So what is our goal with our friend? Let's call him Bob.
Beautiful.
Can we call him Bob?
Let's call him Bob.
هنسميه Bob. Okay?
أيوة يا Bob.
It's my husband.
So that's your husband's name? Let's call him Bob. Okay,
Yes.
so talk to us about Bob.
Well, Bob is a beautiful human being. وهو قلبه طيب خالص. And he's a sweetheart. He has a good family and he's here. He's been here, like she said, for 5 years?
6 years.
6 years. We met with him yesterday in person, and I did like an initial consultation, a life coaching consultation. And what that is I just ask him questions about his life, ask him questions about his circumstances right now, and what he would like to have in the future, what makes him happy, what makes him sad, what's going on. So I get a really good full picture of everything that's Bob's life. And that gives me a good idea of where he is, where he wants to go, and what potentially are the problems or the limiting beliefs in his mind. And I know we talked about, Viola, how there are different things that are kind of blocking him from feeling happiness. So, we gave him an exercise.
So yeah, let's go a little bit detail. أقول لهم بقى كمان بالعربي. قابلناه امبارح وعملنا زي كده, خدنا كل سألناه a bunch of questions, سألناه questions على حياته ونفسه يعمل ايه وايه اللي خلاه ما يوصلش للجولز بتوعه, وسألناه ايه الحاجات اللي كانت وقفت في طريقه اللي ما ساعدتهوش يوصل للجولز بتوعه, للهدف بتاعه. فامبارح we just gathered information. Yes. Right? And what did we find from that gap? I mean, I'll explain what I got from the information. What did you get? If you
No,
were
I
to
think you should go first.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. What I got, why is that? You're the...
No, I want you to go first.
You're sure?
Yes.
Okay. What I understood about him is that he feels that بحاسس هو الفرص بتاعته يعني جت وفاتت، فما قدرش يمسك الفرصة بإيده، فالفرصة كانت قدامه أو مش يمكن مش قدامه، هو كان دايما بيحس يعني الفرصة بتيجي كده جنبه وبتمشي على طول ما بتقفش، he feels like he missed out on a lot. يعني حس يمكن لو جه من مثلا 20 سنة كان هيبقى حاجة كبيرة دلوقتي، لو كان مثلا بيتكلم انجليزي كان حاله يبقى مختلف، لو كان كل حاجة يعني what I gathered was كل حاجة لو ده حصل if this happened I would have been different if this happened, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I gathered. But that's what I recognized, اللي هو حاسس حظه يعني مش جامد.
Yeah, he even said I'm not a lucky person.
Yeah,
I'm
so
just not lucky.
he relies a lot on luck. That's what I thought.
Yeah, and that's really actually quite an interesting point you bring up, because you know, there's different things, you know, when I coach different clients, oftentimes there are situations where someone feels like life hasn't given them good things, like their time has passed, and they're almost going through life as if they're in the passenger seat of a car. So what I want to bring up, you know, not only for Bob, but also for our viewers, is that we're all in the driver's seat of our own life. We're not in the passenger seat waiting هنشوف and هنروح فين مش عارفين. It's not like we're passive observers of life. We're the drivers of this life. And when you take a passive role in the car, it's very scary because nobody's driving the car. So you don't know where the car is going to go. And the car could crash and the car could do well and you just have no idea. So it's important to bring to your mind that you need to be aware of the control you have over your life and do something good with it. So that's definitely something we will coach with Bob about.
So احنا بقى ايه يعني هنعمل ايه معاه؟ we notice طبعا الحاجات اللي واقفة قدامه دلوقتي اللي هي perhaps he needs to think more positively, right? Yeah. He needs to فلما كلمناه قلنا له we actually gave him an assignment, like an exercise. And what's the exercise? What's the first exercise we gave him?
Well, one big thing we talked about was obviously the thoughts that he has. A lot of his thoughts are making him feel like his time has passed. He came too late to America. There's too many things that
he's too old.
He's too old. There's too many things that are not in his favor. So he feels like helpless a little bit.
وتعبان نفسيا.
So the first thing I said was I want you for the next week to be aware of when you have these kinds of thoughts. So just notice them. And what that does for someone is it separates the thought from the truth. The truth is he's in America. That's the truth. It's not good, it's not bad, it's not late, it's not early, and none of that. The truth is that he's in America now. That's it. The thoughts are making him think he came too late, or he missed his time, all this stuff. So the first thing I told him was I want you to be aware of your thoughts. So just notice when a negative thought comes in and how it makes you feel. Second thing was I want you to replace the thought. When you notice a negative thought, I want you to replace it with I am in the perfect place at the perfect time, and God is taking care of me and my family. And that's it. That's the exercise.
فقلنا له basically لما يجي لك negative thought غيرها على طول by a positive thought.
Yeah.
نبص على الحقيقة مش على التفكير. الحقيقة اللي هو he's here، هو فعلا في أمريكا. كل التفكير اللي هو النيجاتيف بقى اللي مش بتساعده يحاول يغيرها أو يشيلها من مخه خالص. هي صعبة في الأول. It's very hard طبعا لأن احنا بنقعد طول حياتنا بطريقة يعني بنكبر وبنتربى على حاجة مخصوصة، والتغيير is very hard. Change is extremely hard. But success is hard work. يعني if success was easy then everybody would have been successful. بس it's the person الناس اللي بتشتغل جامد مش بس شغل بإيدين وشغل وكفاح بكده بس اللي بيشتغل على نفسه when you work on yourself to get yourself better from the inside هتلاقوا outside بيتحسن لأن نظريتنا على الحياة هي اللي بتساعد الحياة تبقى لطيفة قدامنا في عينينا. فإحنا يعني في الأول خالص we're gonna work on the way he's thinking. That's it. يعني في حاجة very interesting. This week I've had several conversations about this project. And there are two point of views. في اتنين وجهة نظر. Okay? أول وجهة نظر في ناس قالوا لي لا ما تتكلموش عليه اشتغلوا معاه وبعدين ابقوا جيبوه على التلفزيون بعد ما يبقى اللي هو عاوزه وبعدين اتكلموا بقى when it succeeds. وفي ناس قالوا no that's a great idea علشان اللي بيتفرج يشوف البروجرس بتاعه week by week. فحسيت اللي مثلا الناس اللي قالوا لي ما يعني استني ما don't share it now حطوا احتمال كبير على خوف خايفين اللي مثلا بعد كل ده هيطلع على ما فيش يبقى بس زي ما في احتمال اللي البروجكت دي مش هتنجح في نفس الاحتمال with the same weight اللي ممكن تنجح. ف it really depends on the person. فاحنا we have someone that is willing we are احنا مش بنفتح بيبان ولا بعد بكره هنجيب له شغلانه ونجيب له بيت وعربيه وفلوس. That's not the point of this. The point is that he is lost and he needs direction. And basically احنا واقفين برا so we can see وعندنا experience عايشين هنا في امريكا we speak both languages عندنا يعني تعلمنا هنا والسيستم وفي حاجات كتيرة احنا عملناها في حياتنا اللي ساعدتنا it made us better people ولا it made not even better people بس it made our life أسهل شوية. It improved our life. That's basically what we're doing. يعني we're gonna shift him a little bit والopportunities دي already قدامه. يعني these are all opportunities احنا مش هنخلق opportunities opportunities دي قدامه بس هو مش واخد باله لان he's sad he's confused. Our job is to say hey look at this door now walk over there have the self-confidence بقى خليك واثق من نفسك وارشم الصليب وواثق من ربنا اللي ربنا هيمشي معاك every step of the way بس انت اللي لازم تروح وتفتح الباب.
Right.
That's basically it. That's what we're doing.
Well said.
Thank you, darling.
Anyway, I get that.
So that's our first meeting was yesterday.
Yes.
And that's what we're doing. So we gave him 2 assignments اللي هو كتبنا له ورقة.
Yeah.
I am at the perfect place at the perfect time and I trust that God is taking care of me and my family.
Right.
Okay? And the number 2 exercise is whenever you have a negative thought لو في تفكير مش بيساعدك وبيخليك sad وبيخليك depressed غيره على طول. غيره to something positive. بس basically that's what you do. Yeah. What do you say?
Well, you know, it brings me back to what we talked about last week when we mentioned, I don't know if you guys remember, but we mentioned the inner game versus the outer game and how both are relevant. And when it comes to the matters of success, the inside is the most important. And that's why we're working with him on the way he thinks about himself, the way he thinks about the world, the way he feels about who he is, and if he has capabilities to go after things. So really, that's everything when it comes to changing your life. The second you start to think different, simply the thought, I'm an unlucky person, will bring you things that make you believe you're unlucky. The thought, I am a lucky person, will bring you things that make you believe you're a lucky person. There's been studies and statistics shown about this. So merely, Viola and me are going to help him believe that he's a lucky person, and he will see that it becomes true based on his thoughts. So,
you know, في ناس كتيرة بيقولوا التفكير ده تفكير امريكاني ومش يعني كلام مش واقعي. اتس كلام في الهوا.
هي.
ايه اللي انت بتقوليه؟ يعني انا لو فكرت انا دلوقتي مليونير هبقى مليونير، ولا فكرت دلوقتي عندي بيت كبير هيكون عندي بيت كبير. ايه التفكير بالعمل؟ What does that have anything to do with it?
Have anything to do with it?
You know, how important is
Yeah.
it really? لأن يعني I've talked to a lot of people, as I'm sure you have, but I find that in our culture, it's hard to, it's difficult to see. It's a concept. It's a way. يعني دي حاجة نظرية للحياة.
Yeah.
والنظرية دي صعبة. يعني مثلا وفعلا it is hard. حد جاي وظروفه وحشة، فعلا وحشة. Just thinking positive is going to change that. يعني خلاص يعني ال thinking هي
يعني خلاص. Yeah. Okay. So tell me, have you ever been to Egypt?
Yes.
Flown to Egypt in
Yeah.
a plane?
Yeah.
Okay. How did that plane come into existence?
What do you mean it flew?
لا بس there was once a time when there were no airplanes. There was once a time when it was magnoon to think that you could fly somewhere. But somebody thought it first, believed in it, and tried it, had the commitment and the perseverance to create it and make it happen. Everything begins with a thought. So if I sit today and I start to say, I'm a millionaire, no, I'm not going to be a millionaire tomorrow. No, that's not going to happen, okay? But one day, I will. And if I don't ever have the thought, if I let myself stay small, لا مش ممكن, I don't want to try, maybe I will fail, it's not going to happen for me, I'm not a lucky person, I will never be a millionaire, ever. So it's not about being a millionaire, it's about if you want something, لازم, you have to open مخك and be willing to think it first. The first thing is the thought.
And the thing that stops us from thinking these things is probably fear.
Yes.
خايفين.
Yeah.
We are, يعني human beings we are afraid of failing. We're afraid of failure.
Yes.
And but some of the most successful people in the world have failed 1,000 times.
Yes.
وحتى في الإنجيل بيقول you know, you can fall 7 times. So what is the 7 times 7 times 7? يعني كل ما تقع قوم. So failing is not because you fell. مش علشان وقعتي اللي انت that makes you a failure.
Right.
It's staying down is what makes you a failure. What makes you a winner is the fact that you get up and you do it again.
Yes.
And one door closes, another door opens, because that's how God works, and that's how He promised. That's how He promised us He's going to be involved in our lives. One door closes, the other one opens.
Yeah.
So we have الأسبوع اللي فات we talked about كلام إنجليزي وعاوزين كلام English وبعدين هنترجمه بالعربي وبعدين we're gonna discuss it, and after we discuss الجملة we will go for a short little break, and then when we come back we are going to meet our guest, and I will tell you all about her. I'm very, very excited that she's here today, and I'll tell you how we came about. فأول الجملة هنقولها مع بعض. If you can show it on the screen, that would be great. And it says, لو مش شايفينها, it says, don't give up and don't give in. Don't give up, don't give up, and don't give in. هي سهلة جدا بس معناتها قوية. Very, very powerful meaning. معناتها بالعربي لا تيأس ولا تستسلم. يعني هي صعبة بالنسبة لي أنا بالعربي. يعني كلام ما بقولهوش بالعربي. قولها لي مرة تاني. لا تيأس ولا تستسلم. يعني don't give up and don't give in. مهما خبطت على باب وما لقيتهوش مفتوح, don't give up. Go to the next one and the next one and the next one. because eventually one will open. That's the promise of God. So why is that so important in the context that we're talking about? ليه الجملة دي مهمة؟
Good question. Because honestly, when you want anything in life, you have to persevere and you have to commit. So this is a perfect exercise, you know, for our viewers for this week. So we want you to focus on I will not give up and I will not give in as your statement for the week. If you want to play this little fun game of inspiration with us. You know, it's really important to stick to the course. And I know that that's one of the main reasons that we actually have our guest on the show, because she has been an amazing example of sticking to the course. So I hope you guys are up for the challenge.
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, the reason why we picked that is because يعني احنا نقينا الجملة دي علشان مهمة بالنسبة لنا كمصريين هنا في أمريكا، لأن بنمر بحاجات صعبة، ومش من السهل اللي احنا نوصل لمرحلة مستريحين، وبنتعب من كتر الهم اللي احنا بنشيله، والشغل والفلوس والسكن والدنيا والعيال كل الحاجات دي يعني بتأثر علينا، مش بس بتأثر علينا mentally، بتأثر علينا physically و health wise. ف when you have the attitude of not giving up، يعني خلاص I'm not gonna give up، أنا هعمل كل جهدي علشان أوصل النقطة اللي أنا عاوزاها، ومهما اللي حصل I'm not gonna give up and I'm not gonna give in. And that's why we have our guest today. Our guest اسمها نينا ماير. نينا is not Egyptian، هي مش مصرية، هي from Romania. هي أي نعم يعني وما عندهاش أي حاجة من المصريين لكن حكايتها مهمة بالنسبة لنا كلنا، لأن اللي مرت بيه متهيألي أصعب من أي حد مصري جه أمريكا، أو يمكن مش أصعب بس يمكن very similar زي حكايتنا. وهي يعني واحدة ست جات لوحدها ومرت بظروف هنسمع منها طبعا كل الديتيلز لما نرجع، وعاوزاكم يعني to put yourself in her place, connect with the story، وشوفوا ايه الستوري اللي في حياتها اللي حصلت، لان هي she's no different than you and me. جت امريكا as a foreigner، ولا برضو عندها لغة ولا فلوس ولا اي حاجة، وابتدت literally with ground zero. And she has a success story. So we're going to go to break. We're going to actually watch a video that's going to be our commercial break. هنروح to a video that we did a couple of weeks ago لما رحنا UCLA. وسألنا طبعا الستودنتس إذا كانوا يعرفوا حاجة عن المصريين، وبرضو I will continue to do that لأن I need to we need to find out برضو ايه يعني our position here in America. Let's watch that, and then when we come back we'll meet Nina. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all my friends around the world. Welcome to the Magical Hour. Today we have an incredible show for you. We are here at UCLA in Westwood, Los Angeles, California. احنا هنا في كلية اسمها UCLA معروفة. It's one of the biggest colleges here in Southern California. وجينا هنا for many different reasons. أول حاجة نوريكم الكليات هنا شكلها إيه في أمريكا، وحتى الناس المصريين اللي في أمريكا اللي عمرهم ما جم هنا هنوريكم بقى الكلية. I hope you enjoy this. وبعدين هنقف نكلم ناس ونسألهم إذا كانوا قابلوا مصريين، إذا كان في طلبة مصريين وبيعملوا إيه هنا وإيه سمعتهم مع الأمريكان واليابان، لأن أنتوا عارفين اليابان كتير قوي قوي في الكليات لأن they have a really amazing reputation. تعالوا دلوقتي نتمشى ونشوف جمال UCLA. CSAT TV. Here we're doing a show on Egyptians in America. We are from Orange County. We're from a network called CSAT TV. This is the Magical Hour TV show, and we're kind of doing a study about Egyptian people in America. So we're going around in different areas, different cities, and we're asking people if they've ever interacted with an Egyptian, if they ever met an Egyptian, what kind of impression do they get.
The only Egyptian that I've ever met, her name's Alex. She's in one of these same like service community volunteer organizations that I'm involved with. She's fantastic. We work with like underrepresented kids from Los Angeles area, and she's super involved in the community. She's definitely one of the smartest and also one of the prettiest girls that I've ever met as well. So she's the only Egyptian that I've ever met, but I've gotten a great impression at.
What's your name? Rafael. What nationality are you, Rafael?
Well, I was born here, but my parents are, well, my mom is from El Salvador.
El Salvador, you're the second Salvadorian that we meet today. He just gave me a very good impression about Salvadorians because he was kind, he was friendly, he stood there and talked to me when he didn't know me from Adams, and you are actually doing the same thing. Each one of us represents our country, our people, right? So you meet someone from El Salvador, you have a good experience with them. That's the impression you have of that culture until you meet someone that ruins that.
Right.
This episode is about Egyptians in America. What do you know about the Egyptian culture?
I just know that they're predominantly Arab, well, they're Muslim, and some of them are, Orthodox Christians. I think they're very, of course, hardworking people, especially those that come over here. They want to make a better living, just like anybody else that immigrates to the United States. And that's very evident of how their spirit, their hardworking spirit, of course, when they overtook, the current regime, Nasser, right? Nasser. So, I mean, just like anybody, they want to be
Mubarak.
I'm sorry. Mubarak.
There was Nasser, Mubarak, and now Morsi. Have you ever met an Egyptian?
Actually, I never really met an Egyptian.
We are here at UCLA today asking students about their relationships and their interaction with Egyptian people on campus. Do you have any insight that you can give us on Egyptian people here at UCLA?
No, actually not so much here on campus, but I do work with a couple of Egyptian people from Egypt.
Are these Egyptians that you work with, have they been here for a really long time, and do they have an accent or do they speak fluently?
No, there's still some strong differences, definitely, but you can understand them, yeah. I mean, we're one of the few countries in the world that speak only one language, so you have to be a little cool with that idea. They may not fully understand English.
What are the differences that are very obvious to you?
The differences are just a little bit cultural, for one, they don't drink all the time, as much at all, some of them. And two, there's definitely a little bit of sometimes a lack of resonance at the dinner table, if you will. Like they don't always understand the conversation or why people joke around and stuff.
You ever been to an Egyptian function, like anybody invited you to a wedding or a birthday party or an Egyptian home?
No, but I've seen a couple of Coptic services. That comes down to a couple of really big factors. One, education is huge. The more you learn, the smaller the world gets, the least you tend to look at people differently.
عندك أصحاب مصريين؟
Yeah, كنت ساكن مع واحد مصري السنة اللي فاتت, so I'm good friends with them. My uncle's married to an Egyptian lady, so I'm pretty involved. I see them in the community all the time. There's a big population. Most of them are engineers, but I think there's quite a few of them here in Soka. Muslims in general, they're very kind, generous, just like Palestinians.
So you are a student here at UCLA?
Yeah, أنا سنة رابعة, studying neuroscience and Arabic, double major, and I'm about to graduate in 2 weeks.
Your name is?
كوساي.
كوساي. اسمك؟
فراس.
فراس. كوساي وفراس. أنا فيولا. من وين؟
من السعودية جدة.
من السعودية جدة.
The same.
زين. اخوات انتوا اصحاب؟ اخوان ولا اخوات؟ يعني اصل في حاجة اسمها اخوان وفي حاجة اسمها اخوات. انتوا ايه؟ Are you brothers? Same mom and dad. Okay, we got that straight. عاوزينكم تبقوا اخوات. اصحابك من كلهم سعوديين ولا؟
في سعوديين، في عرب يعني من مصر، من ليبيا، من الأردن، وطبعا في أجانب.
تعال نحكي عن المصريين. عاوزين نعرف يعني الاكسبيرينس بتاع العرب مع المصريين. قول لي على اصحابك المصريين.
والله أنا أعرف 2 مصريين، واحد يدرس معنا في المعهد وواحد صاحبه بس ما يدرس معنا في المعهد، يدرس في جامعة، يدرس مسرح تمثيل. ومحمد ومصطفى. محمد معي في المعهد وصاحبي، وكلهم الصراحة ال2 محترمين وكويسين. فأنا دائما أتكلم معه، فبسأله دوبي ها حترجع في رمضان، ها إيش حتسوي؟ بيقول لي والله وحشتني مصر، وحشتني الناس اللي في مصر.
أقرب ناس لينا المصار لأنه مامتي مصرية من القاهرة المهندسين، فعشان كذا نعتبرهم أكثر ناس قريبين لينا.
نروح مصر وإحنا نزورها دائما وإحنا.
رحت؟
أيوة أكيد رحنا. مامتي مصرية، نروح وإحنا صغار وزي كذا كثير.
تروحوا فين في مصر؟
هي شرم، الغردقة.
alright. بتلاقوا مصاروة كتير هون ولا بس علشان انت بتعرف هدول الاثنين ما بتتعرف على يعني other Egyptians؟
لا إلا في يعني الأماكن المصرية تروحيها تلاقي فيها مصاري، يعني زي قهوة حبيبي، مطعم، في مطاعم مصرية وعربية.
أنا عن نفسي جدا أقرب ناس يعني جنسية ثانية هم المصاري صراحة.
أتكلم مع المصري قبل السعودي.
طبعا اكلتوا اكل العربي ممكن مصري؟
الملوخية بالأرانب وبالفراخ.
Thank you so much for your time. Your name is?
Siyang.
Siyang. Siyang, what nationality are you?
Chinese.
Chinese.
Like first year graduate student, and here for a PhD.
PhD. What do you PhD in what?
Computer science.
My gosh, leave it to the Chinese, I tell you. Do you see a lot of cultural diversity here at UCLA?
Yeah, sure. Because in my lab, there are like people from, like there are 15 people, and they're from like 9 or 10 nationalities. So.
Really? Can you tell me if there's an Egyptian person in that class?
No, I don't think so.
You don't have Egyptian friends?
Yeah.
Time to go out there and get some. Your name is?
Eileen.
Eileen, are you a student here?
Yes.
What are you studying?
I'm studying physiology.
What nationality are you?
I'm Chinese.
Have you ever met an Egyptian?
I may not be aware that I have.
Do you know anything about the Egyptian people?
Pyramid.
Have you ever met an Egyptian?
No, I have not.
Have you ever met an Egyptian? Hey, have you ever met an Egyptian? Say hello to all the Egyptians.
Hello.
أتمنى إن أنتوا انبسطتوا من الفيديو ده. It was very fun to go to UCLA. أنا فكرت actually I was gonna meet، كنت هقابل ناس أكتر وأكتر يعرفوا عن المصريين، طبعا أكتر من هانينغتون بيتش، لأن هانينغتون بيتش I think من almost 20 واحد كلمناه only يمكن 3 كانوا عارفين حاجة عن المصريين. بس this one علشان قلنا كلية و they're educated they're gonna know more. فبيسكلي يعني احنا بنعمل كده again ليه؟ علشان عاوزين نعرف يعني احنا معروفين ولا لا، ومعروفين قد ايه، وحاجات ايه الحاجات اللي يعرفوا عليها علينا، وعاوزين we want the American people to know about. مش بس the American people, we want the people that we live among يعرفوا عنا، لان احنا مصريين we have a lot of beautiful qualities. و it's a shame اللي يعني عايشين في بلد ويعني مش ناس كتيرة يعرفوا عن our great qualities. ف go out there and meet people، لأن this is part of the success. part of النجاح اللي احنا نخرج من بيوتنا، ولما بنكون برا ما تخافوش وكلموا الناس، لأن people are generally very nice. people are very willing to talk. and it's easy to make friends. So go out there, make more friends. Don't stay in the same group. Go out and explore. And that will help you learn the language. هيساعدكم تتكلموا إنجليزي أكتر and make you more comfortable with yourself. So anyway, I hope you did enjoy the video. I love doing things like that. And I want your feedback. If it's something that you enjoy watching, let me know. If not, we don't have to do it anymore. But you can be honest and call us and let us know. So now we are going to have our guest, Nina. Nina is here.
Yes, my name is Penina Meyer. Thank you for having me here. I'm happy to tell my story from my life. I was born in Romania in a very small town. I come from a big family. My mother, she have 14 children.
Wow.
Wow.
We still alive, 8, 5 sisters and 3 brothers. My parents still alive. They are 83 years old, 63 years of marriage together.
Wow.
36 سنة مامتها وباباها. Your parents have been married for 63 years and they're still together?
Still together.
Wow.
8 kids. We are completely family.
كانوا 14 عيل وبس في 8 دلوقتي.
12 grandchildren. And my mother, she have 12 grandchildren.
Wow.
I am the only one who left the country. The reason because we have been a Christian family, Seventh-day Adventist, and Ceausescu regime, being a communist country for 25 years, we have been very hard time being a Christian. We have been not allowed to go to the church or to tell somebody we go to the church. Our church was closed many times. My father lost...
Let me interpret so they understand.
Yes.
هي جاية من رومانيا. Was it a communist country?
For 25 years.
25 سنة كانت حكم communist. معلش I don't know يعني ايه communist بالعربي، بس هو الحكومة يعني متحكمة في البلد. Almost kind of like what's happening in Egypt now. Kind of.
She's the only one out of 14.
وهي الوحيدة من 14 عيل من العيلة اللي سابت رومانيا وطلعت برا. So
I was very ambitious from little girl to be success in my life. My dream was to have education in my life, but I know I have all the time some border. They don't let us go. Every Monday when I go to the school, I go with fears because I know I'm going to have very hard time. The first question was, did you have been in the church? I tell the truth, yes. Then the professor for mathematics, she said, come out. She put me with my hands on the wall. And winter time, she said, you have to go out. She put me on my knee on the ice to stay all hours there, to tell her, I'm not going to go back to the church. I said, no, I'm going to go back to the church. Doesn't matter. I could suffering. This is nothing. Jesus died.
فهي في بلدها برضو المسيحيين كانوا مضطهدين، فكانت هي بتقول كل يوم 2 كانت تروح المدرسة وكانت بتروح بخوف علشان يسألوها المدرسات، يسألوها انت رحت الكنيسة الحد ده؟ تقول لهم فيطلعوها من الفصل وتبقى بتشتي وبتنزل تلج ويطلعوها بره ويخلوها تركع على التلج ويذنبوها ويحطوا ايديها up in the air، ايديها لفوق بيذنبوها يعني على كل ده علشان كانت بتروح الكنيسة.
She hated me very much. We had other professor from history. I tried to be the best student, not to have any reason to hate me. I learned the history, all the datum and the number, perfect. I tried to be an A straight. I thought myself maybe they're gonna like me. Was unsuccessful.
ومهما حاولت تبقى كويسة في المدرسة وتعمل وتجيب يعني كانت تذاكر كويس وتحفظ، مهما عملت ما كانش ده مهم بالنسبة لهم. كانت أكتر حاجة كانوا بيعذبوها بيها علشان هي مسيحية، كانوا يطلعوها من الفصل ويعملوها معاملة مش كويسة مهما عملت يعني كويسة في الفصل ولا لأ، كانوا يعني بيعملوها وحش خالص. What happened after you left?
Then I did my education. I started to work when I was 15 years old. I did my high school and evening class, make sure I have some money.
In Romania?
In Romanian, because for my dad was very hard to survive. To provide for 8 kids, he was laid off from the job being a Christian, and was very hard. But he's smart man. He know how to photograph or repair the watch. A painter, and he did beside the job because he was laid off. He makes some money for us.
That's your dad?
My dad. We didn't have electricity, and this time I always make my homework under the lamp, you know, the gasoline lamp.
كان النور بيتقطع. That's something احنا we're very familiar with. كان النور بيتقطع وهي في الكلية، و كانت بتذاكر على اللي هي البابور، لا مش بابور، اسمه ايه، لمبة جاز.
We didn't had bread. We had corn bread, and we have been very happy if we had this bread at this time. My mother, she tried to cook for us, you know, more and more, because for 8 kids. Finally, by 15 years old, I started to find a job and make sure I could continue my education. My dream was to be an educated girl. I finished my high school, then I got married. In 1998, we had the communist revolution. Our president was, you know, shoot in his head. Was
in 1998
in December 22nd.
الرئيس بتاعهم ضربوه قتلوه. They killed him.
They killed him, and everybody believed we're going to have a democracy. But inside was a fear. We don't know who is the next. Who's going to be a Democrat, or is going to be, you know, again the communist idea, and it's going to be other terrorized in our Christian way. Then one day in the morning, I just take my baby. I had a boy from my marriage. I said, we're going to leave. Where are you going to leave? I don't know. It was February. I said, I don't know.
ففي يوم في فبراير شي خدت ابنها، وكانت الحالة وحشة طبعا قوي قوي في بلدها. قتلوا الرئيس، وبعدين كانوا يعني منهم كانوا مبسوطين، لكن منهم كانوا خايفين لان مش عارفين بقى الحكومة اللي بعد الرئيس ده اللي هو كانوا كوميونست، مش عارفين كان هيبقى ايه. زي حالتنا كده في مصر، يعني كنا مش عارفين هتروح which direction، يعني مبسوطين علشان واحد مشي، لكن خايفين على مين اللي هيجي. و that's exactly what happened with her. ففي يوم من الأيام عندها ابنها 4 سنين، وقالت له احنا يعني هنمشي، we're gonna leave. فقال لها احنا رايحين فين يا ماما؟ قالت له معرفش، مش عارفة، بس هنمشي.
And I go to everybody from my family knocking on the door. I said, I want to say goodbye. I'm leaving.
Did you know where you were going? I mean, you knew you wanted to leave?
I want to leave. And I go to my parents. I say, Mom, I'm going to leave. Where are you going to go? I don't know. I just want to go. We're going to go out from Romanian, Hungarian, and we're going to go in Austria. It was the immigration lager where you could go in for ID and...
easier to go from Romania to Austria.
In this time was much easier after revolution, but was a problem from Hungarian to Austria to the border, because it was invasion from population from Romania, and everybody wanted to go out. Ceausescu didn't let us to talk, to leave the country. We have been afraid to talk. We want to move from the country, and everybody had this wish to go out from the country.
الكل كان عاوز يهج من البلد.
Was 1,000 people at the border, and when I was there at the border, the Austria border officer come and ask if we have some money with us. I said I have some dollar.
انت راحت أستريا again، يعني أنا مش عارفة عن إيه أستريا بالعربي، بس أستريا. What is Austria next to Hungary?
It's Romanian, Hungarian, and Austria.
Okay, so that's the border.
Yeah, the border.
Between Hungary and
Austria.
And Austria.
Yes.
فالكل بقى الرومانيانز هربوا من رومانيا على Austria. Most of the Romanians fled to Austria.
Yeah, from Hungarian to Austria was already the west. The west, where was democracy. And they look at the money. I have some dollar, and they count the dollar. We're supposed to have $500 for one person, and I had more than $500. I had $1,500. That was my money from my car, which I sell in Romanian and buy $1. And the border control said, "Okay, go."
فلما راحت على البورder بتاع أستريا لازم الواحد علشان يدخل البلد لازم يكون معاه $500 بالدولار للنفر، وكانت هي وابنها your son was with you right at
4 years old.
كان معاها $1,500. فخدوا لما سألوها معاكي فلوس قالت لهم عدوا الفلوس، فقالوا لها اوكي عدي، لان دلوقتي عارفين اللي هي تيجي أستريا وهتصرف فلوسها هناك.
And when I saw the country, I said, oh, wow, so beautiful country. Oh my gosh, we are here. I didn't thought what's going to be if we have a food, if we have a room to sleep. I didn't thought about this. I said, oh, we are out from this regime. And we tried to go in the lager, but impossible. Just the police was all over the area. They didn't let us to go. Finally, I go in a telephone cabin. I try to call a friend family who escaped under Ceausescu regime. They get out, and I have the phone number. I call.
So this is somebody in Austria that you know that
Yes.
also left
the country before the revolution.
فكانت تعرف حد كان ساب already Romania. This friend of yours was Romanian as well.
Yes.
كان قبليها قبل ما الريفولوشن حصل في رومانيا كان already راحوا أستريا. فلما راحت هناك ما كانش هممها بقى هتسكن فين ولا تاكل ايه، ما كانش هممها، كانت بس عاوزه تهج من البلد. She just wanted to leave. وكانت مبسوطه خالص اللي هي طلعت من اللي هي فيه. كانت فعلا في جهنم، ودلوقتي راحت أستريا وبتبص على البلد حاجه جديده بالنسبه لها، مع ان معاها ابن 4 سنين و$1,500 في جيبها وما تعرفش حد خالص. Did you accept that one person? And so اتصلت بصاحبتها with your friend. You called your friend?
I never left with this idea to be lucky. Before I left the country, we always pray. Before I left this house, I pray, God, be with us. I don't know where I'm going, but I know you're going to be with us. When I go to Austria and I try to go in the telephone cabin, and I called the family. I said, I am here. I don't know how far is from here to your house. And she said, oh, we live to Germany border. You have a long way to come here. Then I said, okay, I'm going to try to do, I don't know. And I just get out from the telephone cabin. One gentleman come at me and say, why you cry? He asked me in German. I just make the sign. He said, Bulgarian, Yugoslavian, Hungarian, Romanian. Okay, you could talk to me in Romanian. I'm a Romanian man.
Let me tell the. فلما اتصلت بصاحبتها هناك قالت لها احنا على البوردر، على حدود ألمانيا، فانتي يعني سكتك طويلة قوي قوي عشان توصلي لنا. فقفلت السكة وبتعيط، يعني حاسة اللي هي يعني مبسوطة بس بتعيط يعني خايفة. ففي واحد شافها بتعيط فبيسألها انت بتعيطي ليه؟ مش فاهماه، بيسألها he was talking to you in German, right؟ وقال لها انت ألمانية، انت هنغاريان، انت كذا انت كذا. فلما سألها انت رومانيان قالت له فقال لها طب كلميني بالرومانيان لأن أنا كمان رومانيان. And then what did he do?
I said, why did you cry? Can I help you? And I thought, in this moment, this is an angel. How in this big country somebody asked me in Romanian, and here everybody speaks German. I said, this is an answer from God. He is with us, the first step. And I told him I have an address and that I don't know how to go there. It's already evening. He said, just one moment, I'm going to call my wife to tell her I'm going to help you to take you there, to the address. Oh my gosh. he talked to his wife, said, honey, I have to leave with this lady and the little boy, and I will be back maybe midnight. And she accepted. He take us driving with like 700 kilometers to the other part of the country. We arrived there like early in the morning, 3 o'clock. I pay. He didn't want to take money. I said, this is your job because you spend all night with us. He take the money and didn't want, but I said, this is yours. And then from this time, the next day, we wait somebody to come back to the lager, immigration lager.
Okay, let me fill everyone in. فالراجل ده خدها هي وابنها ووداها لغاية بيت صاحبتها which was 700 kilometers and وصلت حوالي الساعة 3 الصبح. she gave him some money. هو ما كانش عايز ياخد الفلوس بس هي حست اللي فعلا ده ربنا بعته لها. she felt like he was an angel. ده كان ملاك من السماء حاسه اللي ربنا بعته لها علشان يساعدها لان هي فعلا في بلد غريبه ما تعرفش حد و the only friend that she has was on the other side of the country. وقابلت واحد بيتكلم لغتها وقبل اللي هو يساعدها and take her there.
And then next day, somebody come back to the immigration lager to pick up the green card, and I said, can we come with you? We want to go to the immigration lager. They take us in the car. We come to the immigration lager. We stay there for 3-4 days. After 3-4 days, everything was done, and we move in a very old school in Wien. We live in this school in one room, 7 family with 15 children. We had a place to sleep only on the size of the bed, a twin bed.
This is at your friend's house?
No, this was in the from the immigration lager. They send us in a place where we could live with a family from government help.
الحكومة كانت. This is in Austria now,
in
right?
Austria.
Okay, this is when you you got to your friend's house, and then what happened?
The friend, we got to the immigration lager.
She took you to the immigration.
Family member, which had a Austria plate license for the car. Nobody could stop us to go in the lager. We go there. We give us identification picture ID from Romanian. They take fingerprint for green card. Then 4 days later, the governor of Wien, they offer an old school where we could have a place to live, and we have a food from the government from Austria.
فأستريا الgovernment خدوها. Is that a program that they have for immigrants? الناس اللي هم يجوا بلدهم حطوهم كلهم في أوضة كبيرة. And you said how many families were in this room?
We have been in the classroom, old school, in a classroom, 7 family and 15 children.
Okay, so كان في 7 families and 15 عيل عايشين في أوضة واحدة. Okay, let's fast forward so we know you did well. From what I understand is that you did after you went through a really rough time in Austria. You said that you got a job and you built a home, correct?
Yes. I start to learn German by myself because I never spoke other language than Romanian and Russian in the high school, and some Hungarian because 80% of population where I was born it's Hungarian people. But in Austria I never taught myself I have to know German. It was very hard time for me to start to learn German. I didn't have time to go to school. Nobody had the money to support me. I started to learn by myself German. After 4 years of Austria resident, I buy a lot for a house in a small town where we live. In 1994, we paid this lot for a house. In 1999, house was done, 2-story house, brand new home. In 1999, in October, we divorced. I divorced from my first husband. And I thought myself, I have to leave. I cannot stay in the same town with him where he could see me every day. And I moved in America.
Great. That's where we want to start. So you had it pretty rough. So we understand. سابت بلدها هي وابنها وراحت بلد برضو غريبة وابتدت حياتها هناك برضو. She didn't know the language, she didn't know the culture, she didn't know, but pretty similar cultures, right?
Where?
Between Austria and Romania?
No.
No?
No, different mentality. Your freedom. We didn't have this.
Right.
It was totally different to be terrorized and be in the freedom. You know,
كانت حرية أكتر في أستريا. بعد ما قعدت هناك, how many years did you live in Austria? 4 years?
No, from 1990 to 2000.
To 2000. Okay.
Yes.
And then in 2000 قعدت هناك.
In 2000, I take my son and we come to America. We didn't need a visa for America.
You didn't need a
We
visa? ما
just,
كانتش
we just,
محتاجة
buy,
فيزا
we
تيجي
just
أمريكا.
buy the ticket and we come in United States.
Okay.
It was not a problem to come into the United States. It was very hard time. Was the hardest time, but I know America is the blessing land. Everybody told when I was a little child, America, it's a holy land. It's, you know, like when you go there, it's absolutely unbelievable. When I come here, was beautiful, but was the hardest time in my life.
كانت أصعب وقت في حياتها لما جت هنا. Even harder than Romania?
More harder, not harder than Romania to compare with the regime being terrorized for religion. In America was a freedom. It was very hard for me because this nation is extremely big. Everything is huge. Being in the small country, move from Europe in this big nation. And here, other language, English.
Did you speak any English when you came
No
here?
words.
Not one word?
Not one word. I come here with nothing. No
كانتش بتتكلم
money.
إنجليزي خالص ولا معاها فلوس وسابت جوزها في أستريا. You left your husband in Austria. وجابت ابنها. And you come to America. What made you come to America?
Excuse me?
What made you come to America?
I just told to my husband and to my family, I don't want to stay in his way to see me because he was not a Christian. He was just Christian for 2 years. And then he drank, he cheated me, and he was very brutal. He beat me, he broke my leg. I was very terrorized. Being in the Ceausescu regime, get married with a Romanian guy who had this attitude and be brutal, and he absolutely beat me extremely much.
Wow.
And I said, I can file divorce because in my family was no divorce. I know the marriage is a commitment until you die, and for me it was very hard to make a decision. I love him very much. But it was a time when I said, you know, I don't have anything for this person. He tried to kill me. He tried to see me dying. I am more valuable in the God's eyes. I have to get out from this guy.
يعني كانت في علاقة صعبة شوية جوزها كده.
And my son, he started high school here in America. We didn't have money for any food. He come home. We had a place in Anaheim to live. We got involved in the church again. I meet a lot of people in the church who take us and with a lot of love.
So when you first, let's talk about, you said when you first came to the States, you didn't know anybody at all.
Not in this area where I was living.
So you landed and you're standing in a foreign country, no language, no money, with a 4-year-old. What did you do?
My son was 16 years old when I moved from Austria here.
Oh,
in
okay, he
United
was
States.
16, okay.
16 years, and he continued to finish high school here. He asked me, Mom, we don't have money. I'm so hungry. I didn't have $1 to buy some chocolate drink. I said, Remus, I know it's going to be very hard for us, but believe we have a God, and He's going to be with us. Mom, you are so positive. How are you going to find a job? You don't speak English. I said, don't worry. God is with us. I don't give up. I always have a voice in my ears. I am with you. I never thought to win a lottery or to play some game to win some money. I never was in this direction. I said, I have to find a job, I have to learn English, and then I have to go to the school again, which I did. I got a job with no English. I said,
What was your first job?
I took care of one Alzheimer lady, 86 years old, a friend of mine from the church where I was in contact with the Christian people. I talked to her and she said, Penina, I have a job for you. I said, wow, really? Yes, just come. We go together. We go to the American family. We go in and I tell my name, who am I, and she was my interpreter. The daughter of the old lady, she said, I like Penina, but just tell her to tell me one word, to say one word in English. I said, I don't know. I know English, German. I don't know English. And my friend Lucy said, she doesn't know English, no word. She said, you know what, it's okay. She is such a nice lady. I'm going to take her. She's going to be good here, and she's going to learn English. She told me like this, Nina, television, eyes, and you're going to memorize. After 16 months, I learned English.
16 months?
16 months. In those 16 months, I learned English.
How did you learn English? You know, unfortunately, we are running out of time, but I want to hear this. But let's get to how did you learn English? So you came here a foreigner like everybody else, and the very first thing that you needed to do was learn English. What did you do?
Nothing.
How?
I just go to the lady in the room, and I know what she needs because I work in Austria, being in assisted living and nursing home, taking care of elderly people. I had a licensing in Austria. I come here, I know what I have to do. Being with the daughter of the old lady in the house, I just, non-verbal communication, I just
So with signs.
Sign of
so
my
in the beginning
eyes
you did signs.
Exactly.
And then what, you got books? You started to get books, listen to American TV?
I just listened to TV, and this was 2000. In 2001, I believe, was the World Center terrorist attack, and I saw on the television, but I didn't know what mean this. I didn't understand any English. The lady, she said, learn English. After 16 months, I know little English. I did some exam in English. I passed the test. I go in the program for CNA. In 9 months, I got the California licensing for CNA, and then I found
Your
the
CNA,
job.
that's what? Certified
nursing assistant. Yeah, and I find the job in a nursing home, and then I find the job to the registry. I work 19 hours a day, every day, for 3 years.
Wow.
19 hours a day.
19 ساعة كانت أول لما جت. جالها شغلانة مع واحدة كبيرة تاخد بالها من واحدة كبيرة ما كانتش بتتكلم إنجليزي خالص، فابتدت تسمع التلفزيون واللي كانت معاها كانت بتساعدها تقول لها اسمعي وتعلمي، فتعلمت شوية إنجليزي وبعدين امتحنت in an English exam وعدت. And so how long have you been here now?
I am here for, I moved here in 2000, it's like, yeah, over 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah.
So in 12 years you learned a brand new language.
Other language, English.
But you actually learned it in 16 months.
In 16 months, I know how to talk and writing and communication with the people. Then in 2005, I applied for some, condominium or apartment, which I was qualified to buy. And I buy.
Because you worked and you saved money.
I saved money. I built my credits. I didn't know what mean credits. I built my credits to the bank, and I buy a house. My dream was to do something, to build something, and I got in the business. I have my business. I am the administrator and owner on my business.
Wow. I want to finish continuing because I know there's a lot more depth into your story, and there's a lot more experiences that I would love for you to share with us. But we're actually 6 minutes over.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
No,
my
it's,
story is long.
No, it is, and it's great. And, you know, we would love to have you back next week so you can tell us the other half of the story. Or we can sit down, you and I, and then I can fill them in and let them know. Let our viewers know your story in detail. And I think what takes time is the interpretation, you know, stopping and interpreting.
Yeah, my language is not perfect, but, you know, I learned by myself, no school, no help, just by myself. But I always pray God was with me every single day.
And He is.
He
and
is
He
with us.
And you never gave up and you never gave in.
I'm happy here. This country gave me opportunity to open a business, to be success, and I appreciate everything who was around me. Either with the licensing, was no closed doors. Everything was just open.
And that's God. When we trust.
I said this is God.
Yeah.
All the time. We don't give up.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't say lucky. I said I'm blessed.
Yes, you are blessed. And we're blessed to have you with us.
Thank you for
thank
having
you
me.
so much. And I'm sorry we can't continue because it really is a moving story. And how I met her a couple of weeks ago, and we were sitting at our kitchen table actually talking, and she was telling me her story, and I got so emotional I was crying. And that's when I said, you know, your story is so touching that I know that anybody that listens to it is going to be inspired. لأن هي فعلا يعني واحدة ست معها ابن جت بلد ما كانتش تعرف ولا كلمة إنجليزي، معهاش فلوس، بس كافحت ولقت بيبان تفتحها ولقت كنايس وكلمت، ما كانتش خايفة وما خلتش الخوف يقف قصادها، وجت أمريكا والنهاردة اشترت بيت وعندها very successful business. She did it on her own. She did it with God's blessings, and her faith in God is what really made her accomplish all these things. I hope we learned something. أنا آسفة اللي احنا ما قدرناش نكمل. We are definitely over the time, but we thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Shireen. Thank you, viewers. I appreciate your time, and we'll see you next week, next Tuesday at 7 o'clock here on CSAT TV. And have a good evening and good night. God bless. أهلا بكم and welcome to the Magical Hour.